Hello everyone, this is Mr. Informal. I am here to talk to you about the recently announced iPhone 7 and iPhone 7 Plus. This is a big news all over the world, in the mobile industry, in the electronic industry, basically in the media industry. And if you're into gadgets, this is also news to you. And this is one of the biggest event, or actually was one of the biggest event, which was the convention that Apple had, or should I say keynote, on September 6th. This was back on Tuesday, where Tim Cook announced the new iPhone, which are called the 7 and the 7 Plus. Now, this is Mr. Informal critical analysis of the 7 and the 7 Plus. Now, there are those of you that may not like this video. There are those of you who may like this video. But I'm not here to say things that you will want to hear, or you will like to hear, or even love to hear. No. I'm strictly going to critically analyze the iPhone 7 and the iPhone 7 Plus. So let's do a quick recap in terms of specs, okay? So now we have the iPhone 7 and iPhone 7s Plus. So we have new models in terms of space: 32 gig, 128 gig, and 256 gigabyte in terms of storage. That's for both 7 and 7s Plus. We have a new big one. No more pressing the home button. It is now controlled by vibration to make you feel like you press something. So it's a feedback, I guess you can say. And we have new colors, which is actually just new one color, jet black. Basically a smoother and shinier finish black. And another one is 20% better battery life. iPhone did not disclose the actual battery capacity of both models. We have the new Apple A10 Fusion processor, which is the CPU, and it's also rocking a quad core, 6-core graphics. Again, there is no SD expansion slot, and we are looking at an upgrade memory RAM, 2 gig of RAM in the 7 and 3 gigs of RAM in the 7 Plus, which is a big deal. So we have a new one. In terms of resolution, it's the same thing, but this time Apple is touting it has a wider color gamut display, 3D touch display, home button, display zoom, and so and so. And the biggest thing, actually not the biggest thing, but one of the biggest things is the IP67 certified for both models, which means it is dust and water resistant up to 1 meter and 30 minutes. And finally, the biggest thing is the missing or the removal of the 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. I will talk more about that later on. Oh, and I forgot to mention an upgrade in the camera. Let's talk about the 7. We're looking at the 7, which is a 12 megapixels f1.8 aperture, phase detection autofocus with optical image stabilization. Finally, the smaller model finally get an image stabilization during video and taking pictures. But the 7 Plus is even a bigger deal. It has a dual camera. One of them is a 12 megapixel f1.28 millimeter, and we have a second one, which is a telephoto at f2.856 millimeter. Both of them basically coincide during zooming. And we have a quad LED dual tone flash. It's quite amazing, actually. I like that feature right there. And both of them can actually record 4K video. Just hoping you have enough space to record 4K video. So that is it for the specs. So let me analyze every one of these specs, features. You know what I mean. So first and foremost, the disappearance of the 64 GB storage. Now, previously, Apple has done this before on the iPhone 6, which they removed the 30 GB storage option, and they're doing it the same thing. That way they can make you purchase the bigger storage, and that way they can make more money. So that I do not understand. Why not just put the 32 or the 64? Instead of having the 32, just put the 6428. Make the 64 GB an option. 64, 128, and 256. I really do not understand, other than making more money. I don't know what else there is to it. There's no reason. If you are defending that, then I feel sorry for you. Let me know down in the comment section. And here is one of the oddest part about it. If you want to buy the jet black option, which is the smoother, shinier option in terms of color, it is only available in 128 and 256 GB option, which can cost you around $850 to $1,000 depending on the pricing. That's unbelievable. Obviously you can get the normal black for a cheaper price, but if you really do not want to settle for less, then you gotta pay up. That's what Apple is basically wanting you to do. So I really don't know what the decision here, other than to make more money, to make consumer realize. Because if you, let's say you buy the 32, okay, the 32 GB option, we all know everything's at default. I would assume, I'm just assuming, okay, I'm not sure if it's true. Let's say the 4K video recording is on default here when you record video. 32 GB will not be enough, people. I repeat, 32 GB with 4K video recording will not be enough. You will instantly run out of space here, and you will get that message, memory is full. So that means you have no choice but to step up to 128 GB, which will be costly. And so that is my analyze for the for the storage option. Now moving on to the next topic, the design. Basically the design hasn't changed much. If you want to get down to it, the only difference I see in terms of looks, okay, not touching it, not physically interacting with it, is the back, which means the antenna lines is actually on the edge now instead of being on the bottom or top portion of the back of the phone. Second thing is the camera design. The 7 has a bigger camera, or a bigger diameter camera in terms of design, and the Apple iPhone 7 Plus has a dual lens with a dual flash or LED flash. And the same thing, the antenna lines are on the edge. Now the iPhone 7 Plus has a camera that looks like Bender from Futurama. Now if you never watched Futurama, it's one of the best Matt Groening cartoon shows ever, except for The Simpsons, of course. The Simpsons will always be number one. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, go search for Bender Futurama and you will know what I mean. So that's basically it in terms of design. Honestly, it hasn't changed. I mean, if you want to talk about making it thinner, I mean, what, a few millimeters thinner, it doesn't really matter, because now if it was 10mm difference, yes, it would matter, but in terms of few millimeters difference, it doesn't matter. So in terms of looks, nothing has changed except the antenna lines and the camera. And just, we're talking about in terms of look. I know about the home button here, okay, but I'm just talking about looks here. Now talking of looks, let's get to the physical aspect of it in terms of interaction. the home button. So that means you cannot press the home button, it will not click anymore. It will instead have a force touch, which has a vibration feedback. So when you press it, it will vibrate, or it will give you a feedback knowing that you press it. So in terms of feeling like it's click, like a mouse click, or the iPhone 6 and previous generation has that click, instead it will have a vibration knowing that you pressed it. Now that's a good substitution. I get it. There are some people out there who take out their phones and they click it right away to get to the home button, and now they have to learn a new way of knowing that they press the button, which is basically the 3D force touch, which isn't bad actually. It's a good substitution, but I get Apple's decision here. Not only that, it's actually less moving parts, so that could actually prevent damages or prevent wear and tear in the future. So you know what, I get that. 3D home button with a force touch might actually be a good substitution when it comes to presses and buttons. Now the body size. Okay, I'm only going to talk about the 7S Plus because I'm not getting into an argument with iPhone 7. Let's talk about the 7 Plus, okay? iPhone 7 Plus. And I'm gonna compare it to the Galaxy Note 7. Okay, I'm looking at GSM Arena, and right now the 7 Plus is measuring at, let's see, what's the measurement? Okay, 158 millimeters length, 78 millimeters in width, and 7.3 millimeters in depth or thickness. Okay, I'm looking at the Note 7, 153 millimeters in length, 74 millimeters in width, and 7.9 millimeters in depth or thickness. Now, the Note 7 has a headphone jack, has a stylus, has a very big actually not average for its size, 34 milliamps battery capacity, has speakers type C. So let me talk about for a moment, okay, because I'm gonna get into these details. If the Note 7 can pack that much features or connectors, why couldn't the iPhone 7 Plus? Because the Note 7 is smaller in terms of measurements than the 7 Plus. So I don't understand why they remove the headphone jack. And not only that, the Note 7 is IP68 rating, and it has a headphone jack. So in terms of just features alone, Note 7 beats it. But here's the thing what I don't understand. If it's smaller, then why does it have so much features and the 7 Plus doesn't? The only reasonable way I can think of is Apple wants you to buy more accessories, more profits. I don't think it's because of making it thinner, because the Note 7 is already thin. Okay, look at it, 7.9 millimeters depth. Okay, that's the Note 7. 7 Plus, 7.3 millimeters. We're looking at 0.6 millimeter difference here. Are you serious? Am I the only crazy person around here that thinks that Apple wants your money? Come on, people. I just don't understand it. But you know what? I'm gonna move on to the next topic. Now, talking about the ratings here. So again, the 7 Plus has the IP67 and also the 7. Now the Note 7 has IP68, which means it is dust-proof, water resistance to 1.5 meters and 30 minutes. It has a stylus too. Okay. So we know that the Note 7 is water resistant. So we have the 7 and 7 Plus is also water resistant, IP67. Why not IP68, Apple? I don't understand. Is it because your connector is not capable of reaching IP68? Are you saying the lightning connector cannot reach that? Because Sony has done it before a couple years ago, where their USB micro USB was waterproof, and that's something I don't understand. Like I said, people, I just do not understand the decision here. I would have gone, if I was Tim Cook, I would have gone for IP68. Not only that, if I'm Apple, I have the capability of reaching IP68. So on to the next one. Camera capability. So let me read this again, okay? When it comes to camera, so 7 is 12 megapixels f1.8 phase detection autofocus with OIS, people, image stabilization, okay? 7 Plus dual 12 megapixel cameras, f1.8 on the wider camera and f2.8 on the telephoto. But here's the interesting part, okay? The f1.8 28 millimeters is stabilized. It has OIS. But the telephoto f2.8 56 millimeter, which is the second camera, is not stabilized. I'm not spreading rumors here. I researched this before, bringing this up, because it's interesting how only one of the camera is stabilized. And I actually think the f2.8 is the camera that needs stabilization, because if you ever have a lens which is telephoto, that's actually harder to stabilize, or it's actually harder for you to keep your hand steady. The f4.8 28 millimeter camera is the one that doesn't need stabilization, because so wide that you can keep your hands steadier, easier than the telephoto or the second camera. So if any of you can confirm that this is true, then I'm absolutely disappointed in Apple's decision to only make one of their camera disappointed. And you know what that means? iPhone 7s Plus or the iPhone 8 might have both dual stabilization. And the interesting part is my LG G5. It has two cameras in the back, both of them are stabilized. Again, they want you to upgrade in the future. I know I'm saying this, and I cannot believe I'm saying this. They want more money so you can upgrade in the future. And that's not my intention here. And I'm only analyzing it. I'm only making sure it's correct. But it seems like that's where I'm leading to. And so, last but not least, the removal of the 3.5 millimeter jack or the headphone jack. So where do I even start with this? First and foremost, let me talk about the environmental impact of this, okay? Apple has released an adapter, lightning cable to 3.5 millimeter jack. So that's another accessory. That means you have to buy it. That means you have more items. What if you lose it? And then it's just, so we're having two standards here, okay? Other smartphones out there have 3.5 millimeter jack already, and Apple has a lightning adapter here. Some say, oh, why don't you just have two lightning ports? Well, some say that was rude in the design and there's no need to. So now we have a lot of accessories now. Belkin have created this lightning to dual lightning slots. So that's another accessory for those who want to charge their phone and listen to music at the same time. So in terms of environmental impact here, and causes, that means that you have to buy another accessory that you didn't need before, and it's just gonna fill up the landfills. What if in the future that we're not using the lightning connector anymore? Not only that, we already have two standards here. We have the USB Type-C and we have the lightning connector here. So now it's just one more standards or another piece of accessory that you will have to carry, other than if you are using Bluetooth. Okay, I'm not talking about those people who are using Bluetooth headphones here, or earphones, earbuds. Okay, I'm strictly talking to those who connect their headphones using a 3.5mm jack, because again, if you're gonna have another accessory to carry with you, it's just another piece of accessory to go to the trash in the future that will cause more electronic crap and shit into the landfills. Now, another thing is that I've talked about the size earlier. Okay, if the Note 7 can have the headphone jack in there, even though at a smaller size, why couldn't Apple do it? The only reason I can think of is they can make you buy their new AirPods, their new Bluetooth speakers, their new Bluetooth earphones, whatever you want to call it. That's the only reason that I know. And I know people out there that they can say, oh, I can buy a 10mm Bluetooth, but is it really that good of quality? No. I can buy a $10 earphone that's wired and that's better quality than Bluetooth. So that argument of yours goes down to the wayside. And talking about the size again, is I just don't understand what is this causing, because I think that Bluetooth technology and Bluetooth headphones or earphones are not mature enough, and the industry's not there yet to get to that point, and we're just actually transitioning to that point. And some say that, you know, Apple had to do it. No, they don't. They could have waited. I mean, why did it took so long for them to add on NFC? And don't tell me that they had the courage to, because of courage. Come on, Motorola or Lenovo already had it from the start, so there was no need for that. And I know that we're getting to that point, but Bluetooth technology is not mature enough, and it is not ready to, I guess, to play higher quality music to the point where it doesn't have problems. It doesn't have problems with range. It doesn't have problem with connection. We're not there yet. And it's just so much easier not to charge a wired headphone compared to the Bluetooth, because the Bluetooth headphones do not have to be charged. So again, that's another thing for you to remember to charge up. And wired headphones don't even need battery to run. And the thing with battery, as you may know, I've been beating this down on the bush, is that after 1 year, its capacity is not going to be the same. And as I was saying, I think 1 to 2 years Bluetooth technology will be mature enough to the point where we don't need headphone jacks in our phones. But here's the interesting part, okay? I saw a picture of the inside of where the feedback is inside the internals of the iPhone 7 and 7 Plus, and where the headphone jack used to be is now a speaker. They put a dual stereo speaker. Here's the thing, if they had enough space, which they look like they do, why add a second speaker? Why not just keep the headphone jack? So again, it's an interesting decision, but I guess it's money decision to make you buy accessories. You know what? If I was an accessory maker, I would be kissing Apple's ass right now. I would be so thankful for making them remove the headphone jack and only having one lightning jack. I am absolutely serious. I would be making so much money if I was an accessory maker for the Apple iPhone 7 and 7 Plus. Now look, people, you can dislike me, you can thumbs down, you can say fuck you all of this and thinking I'm bashing Apple, but I'm not. I respect them as a company, and I do think that OIS is great, but in terms of hardware, I'm just talking about hardware here, okay? Hardware is not the same compared to the Android counterparts. And I'm not here to say things that you will like. I'm not here to say things that you will love. But in terms of as of right now, the iPhone 7 and the 7 Plus is not what it should be. I think they should have kept the headphone jack and maybe waited another year on the iPhone 8 and just remove it from there when the Bluetooth technology or wireless technology has matured. And so this is Mr. Informal with the iPhone 7 and iPhone 7 Plus critical analysis. If you have any further opinions or comments, let me know down below and I will reply to you. And thank you for listening. Bye bye.